With Terminator Dark Fate releasing in a few short months, I wanted to revisit my explained series on the lore of Terminator. Obviously, at the time of writing and recording this video, the canon for the universe is undoubtedly in question, as we don't know what the new movie will establish, though we can have some guesses, especially due to all of the new trailers that have been released. However, that being said, today I wanted to explore the T-888, or the T-888, that was introduced first in the Sarah Connor Chronicles and would be a model that stayed firmly in the Sarah Connor Chronicles lore and canon and not something that was carried over to the later movies in the series. More than likely due to a legal issue and rights battle, which I will get to somewhat at the end. The T-888 is, as the name suggests, a variation on the Series 800 Terminator that was mass-produced by Skynet and would function in much the same way as the other 800 Terminators, by being infiltration units. Due to the 888 being a Series 800 Terminator, it shares a lot of strengths and weaknesses with its predecessor. However, there are many notable differences, or we could call them upgrades. The T-888 has a new arm and leg plate design, along with new and stronger pistons. There is also additional armor plating on the Terminator's back, likely due to Skynet realizing a weak link and the Resistance taking advantage of this weak link. Now, the rear armor plating also provides a greater range of cover from not only ballistics, but most damage. The T-888 also has additional weaponry housed inside its various appendages, one being thigh blades. Along with this, the 888's chassis is much more diverse, various sizes of all limbs and even the head, which then makes it a much more varied infiltration unit because of the many different aesthetics of the living tissue element which can be applied over the top of this chassis. Now, the hyper alloy of the T-888 is constructed in the same way as the iconic T-800 model, which gives both infiltration units the resistance to heat and small arms fire, with of course exception to extreme temperatures and depleted uranium shells. But of course, these are offensive capabilities that the Resistance rarely utilizes. Therefore, the T-888 and its T-800 predecessor is a highly resilient combative unit. One thing we have not seen of the older T-800 models is a unit being decapitated. However, the T-888 has been shown to still function whilst being decapitated, and even having the ability to guide its body back to its head, after having its head blown off by a plasma-based weapon. Now, this poses a very interesting question. Is this an ability shared even by the T-800? And not only that, but it also poses the question, how does it do this? Is it with the use of a form of wireless communication device? Does the body still house a form of a CPU, which allows for basic movement? Or are the sensors of the body, are these merely always controlled with a wireless form of transmission? Now, your guess is as good as mine, but it does pose a very interesting question. And I'd love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you think? One other defining attribute of the T-888 is that it is notably lighter than the T-800, which is an upgrade that Skynet managed whilst keeping the endoskeleton density high and strong. Now, although lighter, it still is unable to float in water, thus being a dead giveaway for it being a machine. Now, the power cell of the T-888 is within the chest cavity of the Terminator unit behind the frontal armor, similar to that of the T-800, and it's this nuclear power cell that pushes the Terminator onwards in its battles against the Resistance. The CPU of the T-888, whilst on missions of infiltration, is set to read-write, which gives the unit the ability to learn from the experience it encounters, and of course, thus feeding back to Skynet and bolstering the overall tactics and strategy of the machines. The CPU itself looks very similar to that of the T-800 unit. However, later models are upgraded with a slimline chip that not only was thinner, but was treated with a phosphorus compound that would combust when exposed to oxygen. Now, this was a defensive implementation of Skynet to stop the Terminator infiltration units being captured, reprogrammed, and repurposed by the Resistance. The T-800 model had a very limited knowledge on human emotions and psychology, which is easily displayed in Terminator 2 and of course Terminator. However, this was upgraded with the T-888. They not only had the basic combat files, but they also had highly detailed databanks on human behaviour and psychology. Now, this allowed for a deeper form of infiltration, allowing the Terminators to disguise themselves and interact on a much more personal level. And due to this, they were able to display a wider range of emotions, albeit, of course, impersonation or replication of these emotions. Now, they do have a somewhat upgraded heads-up display, and as part of the upgraded software, the T-888 is able to enter into a sleep mode, which powers the unit down and goes into a form of standby. This is thought to be for power conservation, or simply to await new instructions from Skynet after it has completed a mission. Now, there are some other key features of the T-888, however it's important to note that these are unconfirmed. The T-888, in its upgraded infiltration abilities, it likely has the full function of its reproductive organs, outside of course of procreation. Now, this is theorised because in the Sarah Connor Chronicles, Vic was masquerading as Barbara's husband for a substantial period of time, which implies that they continued their marriage as normal. Now, interestingly, it's important to note that the creators of the Sarah Connor Chronicles had to create the T-888 due to legal reasons. Now, this is likely, of course, a rights issue behind the scenes. Now, due to this, it's easy to assume that most, if not all, Terminators seen in the show are T-888s, unless stated to be otherwise. And this goes hand in hand with what I said at the start of the video. They were not repurposed for other films, likely due to the creators or the network holding the rights to this very specific model and its robust design and numerous upgrades over the T-800. But I hand it on over to you. What do you guys think of the T-888? Was this an addition to the Terminator franchise that you liked, did you dislike, or did you find it wholly unnecessary? Please do let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section, and if you want to stay tuned for more explained videos, plus news and deep dives into pop culture and movies, along with movie reviews, please do hit that subscribe button. I do have to take this moment just to give a bit of a PSA. Yesterday, and for the past 4 weeks before this, I have been releasing a project car video. Now, I know this is not for everyone. I'm well aware they are always clearly labelled. They are in fact separated and they are put into a project car playlist. If you don't want to watch these videos, just don't. It becomes very, very peculiar reading comments saying, I didn't subscribe to watch this video, or hear about your personal life, or all this nonsense. I get that, but if you didn't subscribe to watch those videos, don't click on them. It's really that simple. The project car will continue because this is my channel and I want to do it. If you don't want to watch that, there is plenty of other content to go around because the project car is just additional content. It's never replacing any other content. So anyway, sorry to give that quick PSA, but it does have to be said. And you really do only have yourself to blame if you watch a video that you don't like, because they are clearly labelled thumbnails are clearly there, and they are in fact even in a playlist specific to it. But anyway, if you like this video, which you probably didn't now, based off of this last closing bit, please do give it a like, and please do share it. As always, I've been Mr. H. Take care.